What's up, everybody? Yes, I'm back. Yes, we did just do a live stream watch party for Near Dark, our Tuesday night watch party. But since it's spooky season, last night we did the Kiss and Chat episode where we watched Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. So everybody was saying, why don't we do the Paul Lynde Halloween special from 1976? Because today is the 48th anniversary of its premiere. So for those that haven't seen the Paul Lynde Halloween special, it's obviously, if you're a child of the 60s or 70s, you should know who Paul Lynde is. He was Center Square in Hollywood Squares. He was character actor in so many TV shows, from The Munsters to Bewitched to his own TV show. But there's a lot of other people that were very popular in 76 that appear in this. Now, obviously, with watch parties, I can't broadcast it. But if you look at the chat, I've pinned a link to this video. Somebody has uploaded this entire show, the Paul Lynde Halloween special, on YouTube. So you can watch along with me for free. I just can't broadcast it. So I'm going to get it started so we can hang out and chat over it and talk about it, especially you children of the 70s like myself. Some of these people that are in it that you'll see are very nostalgic and very take me back to a simpler time when I was a kid. So let's see who's in the chat. There's Byron. What's up, Byron? And Adrian's here. What's going on? Let's do so if you guys want, click that link. And it's the full episode of the Paul Lynde Halloween special. And I'm going to click over on my other screen right now, get set. We'll do a countdown from 3, 2, 1, and we'll start it. And we'll watch along. And what's great about it is it's such a great performance by Kiss, albeit they're lip syncing, but it's still cool as hell just to see this. And their banter at some point with Margaret Hamilton, who was actually the original Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz. And the banter between them and Paul Lynde is just a lot of fun. So let's get started. So 3, 2, 1, press play now. It's lower and on my end, not loud. So you should see it starting where he's dressed like Santa Claus, and that woman right there, that's Margaret Hamilton. That is the original Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz. Hey, there's Colin. Colin, did you find it? There's the link. I pinned the link in the chat. So I'm curious, anybody watch along, if you recognize these people before I say who it is. Like I said, obviously I already let the cat out of the bag that woman right there is the OG Wicked Witch of the West. Now this, I caught the tail end of this when I was a kid. I didn't even know it was even on, because it's not like social media where you knew everything that was going on back in the day. Especially I was so young. I was 4 years old. So I didn't get to see this thing till probably sometime in the 80s when I got a bootleg copy of it. I had known about it, but it wasn't available. And to this day, it's never been readily available. I have a DVD copy, which is probably what this person uploaded it off of, that they sold at Kiss conventions years ago. Save it on. Yeah, that's Margaret. That's Margaret Hamilton. That is the Wicked Witch. And Colin, you're a nostalgia person. Wait till you see who plays Margaret Hamilton, the Wicked Witch's sister, later in the film. I'm not even mentioning. I'm going to curious to see if you recognize who it is. See, I always loved Paul Lynde when he played. He was always the doctor on the Munsters. So every time they'd go there, he used to get all freaked out. Remember, if he had to do a house call, he'd get all creeped out in his in that style he always had. So if you've seen the names, you'll recognize a lot of the names. Hey, Michael Richie. I'm assuming you mean Witchy Poo. Yeah, because that's who her sister is in this. So for those who don't know, yep, there you go. Witchy Poo, played by Billy Hayes, who was the witch in HR Puff and stuff. For you children of the 70s, well, late 60s, early 70s. I actually bought the HR Puff and stuff set for my kids. I showed my kids HR Puffin stuff, Lidsville, Land of the Lost. My son loved it. He's probably the only 3-year-old kid running around singing the theme song to the Land of the Lost, and nobody knew what the hell the show was. So right now you should be at the part where he's basically doing his monologue at the opening of the show. And he always had that dry, weird delivery of his comedy, which always was great. And he died way too young. He died, shit, I wanna say it's like 1982 he died of a heart attack. I believe he was in his early 50s, very young. It scared me a bit, but now I know serious a lot of the Croft Superstar stuff, like, I mean, Lidsville, the name Lyd right there. A lot of that Croft Superstar stuff, now you're older, you look back at it, you're like, "Were these guys, like, smoking shit? Were they just doing bumps when they were writing the scripts of this stuff?" Because us as kids didn't realize it. And truth be told, my parents didn't watch it. I just watched it on Saturday mornings, Saturday morning cartoons. It was some crazy shit that they did back in the day. I used to love, I remember my brother had a little magic flute. Because for those that remember HR Puff and stuff, it was, Jimmy, and, he was stuck in that world, and he had a magic talking flute that Witchy Poo was always trying to get a hold of the magic talking flute. Yeah, remember that stuff? Do you remember, HR did you watch that stuff, Colin? Any of the Croft Superstar stuff? Yeah, I wish I could just broadcast it, but obviously I can't. But for those just tuning in, just click that link at the top. If you need a timestamp, we'll give you a timestamp so you can watch along with us. He's still doing his monologue. And for you Happy Days fans, you're really gonna recognize somebody that's, gonna appear in this. Yeah, I have the whole set, and it's fun to watch. I loved, like I said, watching it with my kids. We watched Michael, you should have been here last night. We watched Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park last night. That that's what brought this upon, because we did a watch along. Because yesterday was the 46th anniversary of Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park premiere. So we watched that last night on a live stream, and my son was actually my host. So we said, "You know what? We should do this because today is the 48th anniversary of this." Yeah, it's on the channel. Go back and check it out. We had a lot of fun. Probably make it like an annual thing. And I had same thing. I had a link. So if you don't have a copy of it, there's a YouTube link, not YouTube, Facebook link to a Facebook group, and somebody uploaded the entire film, so everybody was able to watch it. I can't broadcast it, obviously, but much like this, we can all watch it together. I just can't show it, or they'll take my stream right down and give me a copyright strike. So, Michael, if you remember watching that, you guys are so if you're a child of the '70s, do you remember how the '70s were actually the '60s too? The '60s and '70s were like the age of the variety show, where they used to just have like skits like this. I mean, they had the Brady Bunch Variety Hour. They had Donnie and Marie, the Tony Orlando Show. They had Sonny and Cher. They had Carol Burnett Show. It was like the age of the variety show. Yeah, you could fall into the wrong hands. Peter Chris. Yep. We were all laughing about Black Ace last night. You should have been here, Michael. Where you see his his stunt double. You can clearly see he's black. Kids with their steppy songs and their funky fawns. Listen to this. Listen to the words, Colin. Too much Alice Cooper, not enough Alice Faye. with pumpkin. Well, there was an Asian one, there was an Asian one, and there was a black one. There's Donnie Marie Osmond. Yeah, I watch this every single year since I was able to get a hold of it. I didn't even know they had the whole that they had the full episode on YouTube. I'm glad I was able to find it so everybody can watch it. So now they're gonna go now this is where they're gonna go to, her sister is. You're well preserved, and you're no fun. As you can tell, I've watched this a lot every year. Dr. Denton's. Uh-oh, who's hit me up? One second. Oh, like, they're talking offline about our annual beer tasting. So for those who are interested in beer tasting, we do an annual beer tasting on this show live the night before Thanksgiving, where a few of us will be trying the spicy pickle monster. Oh, Michael, you gotta hang out with us more often. You just my buddy Colin, who's in the chat, you hit it the nail on the head. He's a hammer junkie. Awesome. I've been wanting to start doing hammer watch-alongs on here. Oh, it's so dead. It's so dead. I mean, King of Taxi Driver is amazing, and the King of Comedy too, man. That's a dark movie, and it's not one that people talk about an awful lot. Awesome. Oh yeah, you and Colin could chat in the chat all night. There's Witchy Poo from HR Puffin Stuff. Looks like you already did. Your sister's a witch. And there you are, Margaret Hamilton in all her Wizard of Oz glory. Yeah, the King of Comedy, man. That's a movie I haven't watched in a long time. And actually, Colin, I think I'm almost positive Sean Clark owns one of Witchy Poo's original costumes. You always see it in his collection videos. Take note of that. He's got like a mannequin and it's got a Witchy Poo costume on it. So I'm pretty sure he owns an original Witchy Poo costume because he's a big Crofts guy. And the best is wait till you see who shows up. Who's the butler? See if you guys recognize who the butler is. There he is. It's Billy Barty. Oh, so you've seen this, Michael. You know it. Yeah. Yep. Florence Henderson disco bit is coming up. Oh, you saw that? Yeah. He's never mentioned it before, but I've seen it in his videos. Hey, Michelle. You wanna watch along? The link is at the top of the it's at the top of the chat. Timestamp of 13 minutes and 10 seconds. Look, and there's the late great Betty White. I mean, Betty White was in everything in the '70s. Any Paul. I won't do what? What first prize? Not booby prize. Call me when you're somebody. I can't believe she's gone. She was around forever. Who ever thought there'd be a world without Betty White? I can't w this is all fun stuff, but I can't wait till Kiss comes up. So, that was the main reason for this, but everything in between is fun. So, Michael, I'm assuming you've seen this whole thing before then. This is great when he gets they give him 3 wishes. This is where it gets the first skits, it's pretty funny, and like I said, if you're a child in the '70s, wait till you see if you will recognize who, the woman is in the next skit. I'm sure Michael knows who it is because he's seen this. I used to watch the Hollywood Squares just to watch Paul. I loved him. I loved his dry. Did you ever watch the Paul Lynde show? If you remember, he actually had a television show in the '70s. It only lasted 1 or 2 seasons from what I remember, but it was actually really funny. I don't know why it didn't take off. Yeah, but he was great as the center square. And there's the late great Tim Conway. When I was out in California last fall for the Halloween, Age 45, convention, went to Westwood Memorial Park, and, I have a picture of Tim Conway's grave. That's where he's buried. It is so cheesy fun. You can't help but laugh at this. I love it around. And believe me, it's gonna get better. It's only gonna get more funny too. So I'm trying to think now. So if you now I'm gonna get dark because if when you watch this, I never thought to put the puzzle together of how many people in this are actually passed on now. So obviously Paul Lynde, who died very young. Like I said, I think he was probably around my age. I'm 52. He was right around that age in '82 when he died of a heart attack. Tim Conway in the past couple of years. Betty White, obviously, in the past couple of years. Margaret Hamilton died years ago. So did Billy Hayes, who was Witchy Pooh. Um, Florence Henderson, who's coming up, she's since passed on. What about Billy Barty? That's incorrect to say midget, but Billy Barty. I don't think he's still alive, but just curious. Yeah, he died. Oh, he died 20. Jesus, he's dead 24 years already. Billy Barty. I was gonna say, there's no way. He was really funny. I don't know if you guys remember. The hell was that movie in the early '80s with Chevy Chase? Under the Rainbow. Remember that? Where it was something. Oh, God, I haven't watched it probably since then. It's something to do with the Wizard of Oz, but I remember Billy Barty being in it. Chevy Chase. Um, but he was old, Billy Barty. Holy shit, 76 years old. Good for him. Is Bruce Villain I don't know, is Bruce Villain still around? That's a good question. I don't know. I'm gonna look it up right now. Do you guys anybody in the chat recognize this waitress that they're gonna fight over? Bruce Yeah, Bruce Villain is still around, 75 years old. I didn't think he died. So, Modern Problems, I loved Modern Problems with the late great Dabney Coleman. That's a movie I gotta go back and revisit, Michael. I haven't watched it in a long time. Margaret was so sweet when I met her. Oh, you met her you were on Mister Rogers? Were you like one of the kids' guests on there? If you were, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, Modern Problems was a dark film. You know, that's a Chevy Chase movie that you don't hear a lot about. Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were on I was like, "Wow, my cool if you were actually got to see it." Yeah, I used to as a kid, we used to watch Mister Rogers a lot. My younger cousin too. Colin, go check out Modern Problems. It's like Michael said, it's very dark. It's dark, but it's pretty funny. Anybody guess who the waitress is yet? Without looking it up, the waitress, with Pinky her name is Pinky in this, which is actually right there, should tell you who she is. So see if anybody recognizes her. I always liked Memoirs of an Invisible Man. People think I'm crazy. I enjoyed it. I still do. I never said he was Brett. Missed something when popping on us. What don't you see? What did you miss, Michael? Oh, you can't place so the waitress for you children of the '70s is Miss Roz Pinky Tuscadero. If you remember Pinky Tuscadero from Happy Days was Fonzie's girlfriend. If you remember the episode where she gets caught up in the Malachi Crunch. Yep, Micah knows. Happy Days. Yep. Leather Tuscadero's sister. And for those people remember who was Leather Tuscadero in real life. There you go. She was cute as hell. Roz Kelly. I don't know what she's doing these days. Feel yeah, I don't know if it's real or fake, but look at Paul Lynde's chest, all that hair, if it's real hair or not. You gotta wonder if it's fake. I'll take yeah, yep. Oh, man, as a kid, I watched it every week. I remember waiting anxiously to see how Fonzie made it out. If you guys remember the episode where he jumped all the garbage cans and he crashed into Arnold's, chicken stand? Of course, it's every episode, every skit's gotta end with a musical number because it was the age of the variety show. Yeah, he surfed. That's the famous episode where he jumped the shark, which is now that big phrase, "Jump the shark." Yeah, that's like that was like an I remember correctly, it was actually like a big website called Jump the Shark. It was sort of like an early version of, Rotten Tomatoes, if I remember correctly. Now they were supposed to do, if I remember correctly, they were gonna do a documentary on Paul Lynde. I wonder if they did. I'm gonna look it up right now. I mean, they did a biography, A&E, but I think they were supposed to do like a almost like a biopic on him. It doesn't look like they did though. Oh man, I could talk Happy Days all night. We watched it religiously when we were kids. And this is what bothers me about this generation. Like my kids don't watch TV at all. I mean, that's not to say that's not a bad thing. But of course, there's other things. They're gaming and staring at their phones all the time and social media. But I just love all the growing up on all the TV shows that used to watch and wait for every week, like Happy Days as a kid, or MASH, The Incredible Hulk. Um, what else did I wait for every week? Three's Company. Oh, there was just so many great shows. Mork, yep, there you go. Mork and Mindy, of course. And a lot of people seem to forget that, Michael, too, that, Mork and Mindy was a spinoff of Happy Days. Oh, here we are, folks. We're about to see Kiss. Here we go. What we've been waiting for. Kiss on the Poland Halloween show. Eight is Enough was another one too. Laverne and Shirley. Oh god, I love Laverne and Shirley. Me, I used to watch Barney Miller with my dad. My dad loved Barney Miller. And here's Kiss performing Detroit Rock City. Of course, lip syncing it, but the performance is cool. But you remember back in those days, they never performed anything live. It was always lip syncing. All right, so let's see how many hardcore Kiss fans will be watching this now or after the fact. Look at Paul Stanley's cheeks. Did you guys ever notice that he used to put a little bit of gray to sort of make it seem like his face was a little thinner? Look at his face. You'll see a little bit of gray on both sides. Are you watching along with us, Michael, or no? Oh, that's the best. Happy Days, Incredible Hulk, Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah, that was my weekend. My Friday night was always the Incredible Hulk and Dukes of Hazzard, and on Saturday nights we would watch Love Boat. We watched Fantasy Island, and then when our parents let us stay up late, we watched Saturday Night Live. But the Fall Guy was good. V was awesome. Oh, you're not watching along with us? Oh man, that sucks. Click the link up above if you can and watch it with us. Yeah, I thought you were watching along with us. Oh, man, that sucks. Yeah, Headbangers Ball, I used to watch it every weekend. I had a Headbanger I sent away for a Headbangers Ball T-shirt, and it's I somewhere I remember I had a picture somewhere of me wearing it, like, when I was first went out on a date with a girl back like, this girl I was dating at the time, I was wearing a Headbangers Ball T-shirt, and she's like, "Seriously, you couldn't put anything else on?" I'm like, "Miami Vice was big, man. It was big." Yeah, I would love if they still did stuff like this, but they don't do it anymore. Oh, and Fantasy Island too. Yeah, Colin, I forgot about Fantasy Island. I loved Fantasy Island. Magnum PI, Starsky and Hutch was great. Kojak. I got on a kick where I was watching all these old, like, detective shows like Kojak. I was watching Cannon. I was watching, Streets of San Francisco. Oh, and I loved watching the Bionic Man. Oh, $6 Million Man, awesome. Anybody you guys ever watched the $6 Million Man? Remember the episode? I think there was more than one episode where they had that robot that was coming after him, and the robot was, John Saxon. Colin, did you ever see that? Columbo, yeah, Columbo was one of my mom's favorites. We used to watch Columbo all the time. She loved Columbo. Hated the I love the Love Boat because I used to love to see the guests that were on because they always had cool guests, and it was always cheesy as hell. Plus, they always had some cute chicks hanging out by the pool. Up, and here you go, the late great Florence Henderson, another one of my favorite shows from the '70s. I still watch to this day because it's on Pluto TV. Did you ever see that one with John Saxon? Is that what it was called? Maybe I honestly don't remember what it was called. The episode. Yeah, let me look it up. Let's see. I like that. Westinghouse Frigidaris. They have the robot. You're absolutely right. Good one. I did not know the name of the episode. I'll admit that. I did not. Yeah, because he was a robot and he was awesome. He was like Billy Badass. Yeah, Day of the Robot. Episode aired February 8th, 1974. So actually 2 years and 2 days after I was born. That's awesome. Mopar, what's up, man? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, Buck Rogers was a good one too, man. I remember that. Gil Gerard. And, who was the cute brunette? I can't remember her name. An annoying little tweaky, bitty, 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 bitty. He was a pain in the ass. Yeah, Lindsay Wagner, she was very easy on the eyes. The Bionic Dog Max, yeah. Charlie's Angels too. And what was cool about Charlie's Angels is they had a revolving door because people were leaving it and they would just bring hotter girls in too. Good, man. Come join in the fun, man. Top I have the link at the top of the chat. If you click it, you can watch along with us for free on YouTube. I could just give you a timestamp. We're actually shit. Well, it's about just under about 18 minutes left. It's still it's like a part of my youth gone, knowing that Mr. and Mrs. Brady are gone. Alice is gone from the Brady Bunch. It just kills me. Mm. Erin Gray. Yep, she was easy on the eyes, that's for sure. I always loved Tim Conway. Anybody watch the Carol Burnett show? We used to watch. So I remember as a kid, oh god, my parents would watch TV every night. They were boob tubers. That's why I'm a boob tuber, as my wife would call me, because she's like, I could talk TV shows from the '70s and the '80s all day long. She's like, my wife always jokes that your parents just like stick you in front of the goddamn TV. Um, but I used to love watching Carol Burnett show, and my father's one of his favorites. We used to watch Benny Hill show. Do you guys remember Benny Hill? Oh, does great stuff. Yes, yes, he was. Was it Dwarf or Dorf? It was Dorf. Yeah, it was Dorf. Good stuff. I gave him the cockatoo. And there's what, two more Kiss songs coming up. A few more skits. Now, the one thing I remember about this, if this was a set or if this was actually a home, it was probably a set. But it was very cool set. Oh, Colin, yes. Well, you know my love for the Twilight Zone. Alfred Hitchcock too. Watched that a lot too. Yeah, it's coming up. I do Beth. He fake plays the piano. So as a kid, like to this day, I still get I average about 4 hours of sleep a night because I'm a night owl. Those remember if you're in the tri-state area, I grew up in northern New Jersey, northeastern New Jersey rather, right by Manhattan. So I grew up on Channel 11. If anybody out there remembers Channel 11, WPIX. So every night at 11 o'clock was The Odd Couple. 11:30 was The Honeymooners. 12 o'clock was the original Star Trek, and 1 o'clock was The Twilight Zone. And if I was able to stay up beyond that, it was Rat Patrol. If you guys remember the TV show Rat Patrol. So I'm a big Zone guy. New Year's Eve, my wife will tell you, 2 days straight. I just sit in one of my theater chairs and watch the Zone during the marathon. Tales from the Unexpected was good too. I'm a House of Horror TV series. I remember, but I never watched it. Do they have that somewhere where you can watch it, Colin? I'd love to catch up on that. And another show that I loved was Tales from the Dark Side, which we started doing Tales from the Dark Side watch-alongs. I think we did 3 of them, and we've just been so busy. We have to get back on them. If you guys remember Tales from the Dark Side, love that show. Seriously, my wife breaks my chops all the time. Like, I used to even tell my mother, like, "Did you just put him in front of a TV?" She's like, "He won't remember anything I tell him, but he can talk about, like, a Laverne and Shirley episode from, like, 1977." Now you remember he wanted to go to a real disco because it's '76. This was the birth of disco in '76. Wait till you see what the outro song is, and you'll see what I mean. I always liked the keyboard though, it was very, Billy Preston. Michelle, yep, yeah. Hey, Happy, what's up, Coy? What's up, buddy? If you wanna jump in and catch the tail end of, about 13 minutes left, click the link at the top. Yep. Sounds, very nothing for nothing. Nothing from nothing, leaves nothing. Actually, I was just singing it yesterday. I was cranking, not yesterday, Sunday. So on Saturdays and Sundays, my kids will even tell you this. if you guys have Sirius, you go on the '70s channel every Saturday at noon, and they broadcast it again Sunday morning at 9 and Sunday night at midnight. They play old '70s episodes of the Casey Kasem Countdown. So every weekend, the Casey Kasem Countdown is playing in my house, or usually outside in the warmer weather. And I was out, I was outside blowing leaves, singing "Will It Go Round in Circles." Ready? You'll be free in 15 minutes. Yeah, because there's only there's 11 minutes left on the show. Then we'll hang. You gonna go watch some Zone? Yeah. Colin, do you guys get the Pluto TV, the Pluto TV app? Because they show the Zone constantly on one of the channels on there. I'm sure you own it like I do. I have the, I'm sure you have the entire uh box set like I do. That's a guilty pleasure movie. The Sergeant Pepper's movie, guilty pleasure movie. I saw that in the theaters when it came out because I'm a big Frampton fan. I love Frampton. I love humble pie. So I enjoy it for what it is, and you know, I'm a diehard Kiss fan. I'm a metalhead, but I love everything. I liked the Bee Gees back then too. I'm sorry, I liked anything back then. I like anything if it sounds good, I like it. I don't care. I'm just that guy. So I enjoyed Sergeant Pepper's. I mean, you had Steve Martin playing Maxwell Silverhammer. You had George Burns singing "Fixing a Hole," and of course, how could you forget Aerosmith doing "Come Together"? Yep, when Aerosmith was. Yep. Yeah, the wife got me the whole entire she got me one of the full box set of everything years ago, and the funny thing is every time they have the marathon on, she's like, "I bought you it. Why are you parked in front of the TV?" But those of my age group know, like, once growing up, we didn't have access to everything, so when something was on TV, it was an event. So, to this day, like, if there's a Zone episode like, a Zone marathon on, I'm gonna watch it. If there's, like, a Halloween what you watch AMC Fear Fest, they show you Halloweens, they show you Friday the 13th, I'm gonna watch it. We're just programmed that way. Kill the girl. That bastards. Oh, Marsha? Yeah. Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. The witch has flipped. Ding dong, the witch has flipped. Now, mind you, when this aired, October of '76, Beth had climbed the charts. It was their biggest single. It's what put the Kiss on the map. That's why he's saying that's why he's saying it's number one with a bullet because they actually won the People's Choice Award that year for song of the year. So you have Peter Criss fake playing the piano because he does not play the piano. And blaspheme to you Kiss fans out there, I'm a diehard Kiss fan since 1976. Every time this song would come on, either on Destroyer or Alive 2, it was a skip. I'm sorry. I don't hate this song, but I'm like, I usually just don't wanna hear it. When you're playing this when you listen to Destroyer and you got, like, Do You Love Me? And you got Flamin' Youth and you got, God of Thunder, I don't need to hear Beth. Sorry. Not a bad song, but it's never one of my favorites. But this is great, him fake playing the piano. Faking it pretty well. Michael saw Kiss live for free in Galveston, Texas, 1990, a few months before Eric died. Really? For free? That's cool. I saw them 1990 was the That was probably still the Hot in the Shade tour. I saw him twice in the Hot in the Shade tour. So I saw him twice before he died that year. Yeah, tragic. Love to have see where how things would have evolved had he, still been alive. And if you notice, they have the Peter Chris cat. You guys remember their stage setup, there was one of the big black cats right there. Oh, this is great when he starts making, like, jokes and they just fall flat. I do love a good religious group. It was a Beats concert for free before the actual concert. That's awesome. I've seen Kiss many times, but it was never for free, that's for sure. Kiss is gonna do one more song, and one of my favorite songs off of Destroyer. Probably my favorite song off of Destroyer. Oh god, could you imagine seeing this live? Oh, I lose my mind. Yep, my favorite song off of Destroyer. One of my favorite Kiss songs of all time. Used to play it in my band. The band I was in years ago, we used to play this. We used to do this. We used to do Shout Out Loud. We used to do New York Groove. We used to do Deuce. I always wanted to do Mr. Speed, but I'm like, ah, not a lot of only hardcore Kiss fans were gonna know Mr. Speed. And it's funny if you look. There's a bunch of what's in the history book. I think it was in the history book. There's a bunch of pictures, behind the scenes pictures, and there's a bunch of pictures of Paul Stanley with Roz Kelly, with Pinky Tuscadero. So I always wondered if if he nailed her after the show. There's pictures of her like hanging all over him, and Gene just blew fire. Michael played Floyd songs in his band. We were just teens in a garage band with no name. Oh, nice. What do you play? I still play in a cover band. I play in a cover band on the weekends. This is my band right here, as a matter of fact. Dead Man's Hand. This is our band. We play like maybe once or twice a month locally, bars. We just play the brewery nearby. And we do basically everything from southern rock to metal to punk. We just do everything. Guitar, awesome. Nice to be another guitar player. I will say one thing about this, watching this after I've been watching this thing for so many years. Roz Pinky Tuscadero cannot sing. Neither can Poland. But she's easy on the eyes. Wonder how old she is now. Disco lady. Let me look her up. What has she been up to these years? So she is, wow, she's 81 years old. I wonder if there's any pictures of what she looks like now. I'm surprised she hasn't popped up at like a Chiller Theater convention. She would be like perfect. Perfect at a convention, especially if you got her there with like Henry Winkler, they would cash in. Wow, I can't believe she's 81 years old. Holy shit! Man, do I feel fucking old? You played all the Gilmore parts. What actually? Truth be told, first guitar solo I ever learned how to play front to back was Money. She's hotter on this, yeah. I don't think they let her dress as slutty on Happy Days. The mission from Time Bandits, yeah, that's Billy Barty. Hey, Liana, what's up? Not a Kiss fan, but popped in to say hello. What's up? Oh, but this is worth watching, not even for Kiss, just for all the people you saw in here. Just it's a nostalgia. This whole show is a nostalgia trip. It's not just for the Kiss factor, that's for sure. Yeah, so this premiered 48 years ago today. That's crazy shit. Look at Kiss just hanging out. You see him up in the rafters. He's just hanging out on the upper level, just looking over everything. I always wondered why they said they always had to say that. Did you hear that? The character of Witchy Poo was from the world of Sid and Marty Krofft. I guess that was part of the licensing to let them use it. Interesting. Awesome. So that's the Paul Lynde Halloween special. How cool was that? Especially if you've never seen it before. How cool was that? Michael says Gilmore played a strat with extra frets in order to play the high notes on Money. Yeah, I mean, it's not a very difficult song to play, but it's memorable as hell. And it's just tasty guitar licks. And Colin, I told you, how fun was that? You've never seen that before? That was fun. Especially if you're into nostalgia, like 70s nostalgia. That's like 70s cheese to the max. Awesome. So I appreciate everybody hanging out tonight. This was so much fun. I'm glad we like I said, Michael, go back. We on this channel we did last night we did a watch along of Kiss Meets the Phantom. Go check it out. And that's what brought this about. So maybe we'll I'd like to do a couple more Kiss watch alongs. I wonder if I have to research and see if some of the Kiss videos are on here. I'm sure people have posted them. Do like shit. What's the one Kiss video? I want to do Kiss and Attack of the Phantoms, which is the theatrical European cut of Kiss Meets the Phantom. We should do that. It's got to be put up here somewhere. Kiss Exposed. We could do Kiss Exposed. That'd be fun as hell. Yeah, check out the Phantom episode and watch along with it too. But I'm assuming you saw it, Colin. Have you seen Kiss Meets the Phantom? I don't remember if you said if you saw it or not. Watch Monster Party. Did you ever see Kiss Exposed? That's actually pretty funny, Kiss Exposed, because there's a little bit of humor in there. And that was the one that really started it all with all the vintage Kiss footage. I remember seeing because if you remember, MTV at the time had an MTV. They put out a video of all the clips from Exposed with the live version of Rock and Roll All Night, and I remember seeing it on MTV, and I was like, whoa, where the fuck is this? And I remember my best friend in high school, his mom took us to Sam Goody so we can go buy it because we were dying to see all that vintage footage. Yeah, it was just, and then they kept releasing more and more. Oh, see, I kind of figured you did. You know what? I was talking. So my co-host that I usually have up from that horror movie podcast, they're doing stuff on Thursday night, and a lot of my friends, other podcasters I know, everybody's doing something on Thursday night. Because usually what we'll do is maybe a 10 o'clock watch along of Halloween. I mean, I'll throw it out there and see if people are interested. or some other type of watch along, maybe like 10, 11 o'clock at night, simply because, let people do their thing for Halloween. But if you guys have any ideas, anybody's up for doing something like a watch along or some type of stream or something, I'll do a late one, like maybe 10 o'clock at night or something. Be fun to do. It was for sale. It was not cheap. Yeah, you're right, Michael. And I remember going there, and I remember we persuaded his mom to buy it. She was not happy about spending the amount of money that it was. Yeah, the Crazy Nights the promo video VHS. Yep, I have that too. Yeah, I'm a big 80s Kiss. I'm a big 80s Kiss fan too. We should be a part of a good Kiss and Chat episode. What era of 80s Kiss is your favorite? I would have to lean towards I probably hate to say it, would have to be like the early 80s, like the Vinnie Vincent years, as much of a douchebag he is. But the songs were great. Guitar playing was great. And the Bruce Kulick years I do like. The middle 80s were a little bit too glammy and too cheesy for me, but Revenge, I think they came back in form with Revenge. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Creatures of the Night era, which is, Vinnie Vincent, that era. That and Lick It Up. Good night, Michelle. Thanks for hanging out. That would be my 80s era that I like the best. I mean, I saw most of the tours. I didn't see the Creatures tour. I wanted to go. My brother was willing to take me. My parents would not let me go. Bruce, great guitar player. There's nothing you can say about that guy, man. Super nice person, too, if you ever met him. Met him several times at Kiss conventions. You won't meet a nicer guy. And hell of a guitar player. War Machine, yeah. Great song. Man, we should do that. I don't know how well it would go over the places we play. Only thing, believe me, most of the local places we play, they want Southern rock and classic rock. And I think the only Kiss song that would ever really be able to play is Rock and Roll Night. Or maybe. Who's hitting me up? Is it my buddy Brett? Let's see. Yep. Oh, I got to meet up with Brett in a few minutes. Yeah, that's that was written by wait, was that written by no, War Machine wasn't that written by Bryan Adams? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it was Bryan Adams. Hold on a second. Because he wrote a bunch of songs with them for that. Let's see. Composition, recording. Unless somebody remembers right off the top. Yeah. War Machine. Co-written by Gene Simmons. Valance. I don't remember his first name. Jim Valance. Yep. And Bryan Adams. Yes, indeed. See, I do know my Kiss trivia. I do know my Kiss trivia. I don't know it all, but I do remember some things. But yeah, I remember getting Creatures of the Night and not even knowing who he was at the time because he hadn't exploded. Because for those that were old enough in the 80s, Bryan Adams was huge in the 80s. I saw Bryan Adams live, and he was actually really good. I was never a biggest fan, didn't dislike him. Just, he was there, put it that way. And the girl I was dating at the time, my high school girlfriend, loved Bryan Adams, and I remember going to see the show. And I'll tell you, man, I was glad I went because he was actually really fucking good live. But yeah, he wrote a couple of songs on that album with him when he was just a songwriter. Michael says the Firm was awesome. I love the Firm. Yeah, the Firm. I mean, you couldn't get. I mean, the pairing of Jimmy Page and Paul Rodgers, you're not going to get better than that. You saw him at the Summit in Houston. Jimmy came out the wrong after the concert. He said hello and walked off into the limo. Yeah, I've heard stories that he's kind of a dick. I haven't never heard anything new about that. I've always heard he's kind of a dick if you meet him in person, which is kind of sad. I will tell you my Jimmy Page story, though. So my Jimmy Page story is I never met him, but if you guys remember in the late 80s, maybe it was 88 or so? It was 88 or 89 when Jimmy Page came out with the Outrider solo album. So if you go get the Outrider solo album, it's actually really good. So my friends and I got tickets to go see him at the time it was the Brendan Byrne Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey, right next to the old Giants Stadium where the Giants play. And we went and saw him, and he was so fucking bad. We walked out. Because he was still drinking. Guitar was out of tune. He sounded like shit. And we fucking left. It was the worst concert I ever saw. The only concert I ever walked out on was Jimmy Page. And I was so disappointed because the Outright album is fantastic. I've always heard Robert Plant's a nice guy. Yeah. And I saw Robert Plant. I saw him on the Now and Zen tour. And it was like night and day because it was around the same time as Outrider too. So so I saw him at the Nassau Coliseum out on Long Island. And it was Robert Plant and Cheap Trick was opening. And Cheap Trick was fucking awesome too. Yeah, there was one song that he did with Plant on Outrider. Yep. Yeah, good stuff. Great stuff. Just such a shame. And actually, Sean Clark was just talking about that, Colin. Well, I think that one of the episodes on Things with Two Heads, he was saying how when he was over in Europe, Sean, and he saw Jimmy Page at some record show or something like that, and he was a complete dick to him. Now and Zen was great, yeah. What was the big song off of that? Now and Zen, it was It's All a Cool One. That was the big song. I remember playing on my guitar. And the one before that was what was that? Ship of Fools was the big song. I can't remember the guitar player he had at the time, but the guitar player was really good. I don't remember his name. He fell on the drums when he played during the No Quarter tour with Robert. Oh yeah, he was still drinking. And he was sloppy as hell. It was a shame. Heaven knows. Yep, that's it. Thank you. See, you guys know. Yeah, Ship of Fools, man. I love that song. Great guitar. God, what the fuck? Hold on a second. What the hell was the name of the guy that played the guitar on that album and that tour? He was really good. Unless somebody throws in the chat before I find out who it was. Ship of Fools. Songwriters. Does it say who even played? It doesn't say who played on it. No. I have to look it. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I was just curious. That was great. Love to give him credit for that. Fantastic player. Awesome. But this has been great. No Quarter's great song. One of my favorite Zeppelin songs, Out on the Tiles. Love Out on the Tiles. That and used to play it in my old band. The Wanton song we used to play. Love it. Great riff. Great octave riff. A lot of fun. Good drums on it too. Because the band I used to play, my old band, the drummer in the band now is a big Bonham head, but the other drummer was a big Bonham head too. Yeah, I you know what? Hold on a second. I just have to look up the album and it'll say who's played on it. Now and Zen. Track listing. Doug Boyle. That's his name. Doug Boyle. What is he doing these days? English guitar player and composer, best known for his work with Robert Plant, Nigel Kennedy. I guess I don't know, it doesn't sound like he's doing much of anything these days, but yeah, great guitar player. Yeah. I gotta go back and watch The Song Remains the Same. It's been a minute. It's fun stuff. Bonham was incredible. Broke his heart when Karen Carpenter was voted the number one drummer over him. I know, right? That's true. I forgot about you. Land knows a lot of good trivia. That's awesome. That's true. I mean, hey, if you ever seen Karen Carpenter play, she was good, but she wasn't Bonham good. I'm sorry. I mean, not to say she for a girl, but she was pretty damn good on the drums if you watched her play. But sorry, she was no Bonham. Sorry. But awesome stuff. But I do have to jet because I have to get off. I'm going to go hang out with Brady before it gets too late. But this was awesome. Thank you everybody for coming in and watching this. This was so much fun. If you guys have some ideas on some more Kiss and chats, some more Kiss stuff, or some Kiss related stuff, maybe like I said, we could do some watch alongs of excuse me, like some Kiss exposure. I'm up for anything. Because we just go on tangents like this, and it's so much fun. And my wife loves this because she doesn't have to listen to me talk about useless shit. So I love that. Jimmy changed what? Jimmy changed the song makes the same film and soundtrack so damn. Well, that's it. He just keeps tinkering with shit and putting it back out there so people will pay for it. You know, he's the curator of the catalog. So I don't buy any of this stuff. I mean, I just, truth be told, I love Zeppelin, adore Zeppelin. I went through a huge Jimmy Page phase as a guitar player. And I just have all the original albums. I never bought any other stuff. But yeah, so I'm going to call it a night. Thanks again, everybody. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. You get notifications on some new stuff. I want to do some more Kiss and Chat stuff. You know, where we just talk Kiss stuff for like an hour and just bullshit, have a great time, and enjoy each other's company. So if you have any ideas, throw them in the chat afterwards if you want. And we'll go from there. So thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks for my buddy Colin, who was on my live stream earlier as we watched Near Dark, and it was awesome that he hung out in the chat tonight and watched this. And it sounded like you enjoyed this. I told you it'd be a lot of fun. A nice nostalgia trip. Subscribe for life. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. That means a lot, man. So I'm gonna head out. I'll see you guys soon. Watch the channel for some updates and see where things are going. And if I don't talk to everybody, make sure you guys have a great Halloween. Stay safe. I'll talk to everybody soon. Night.
I am talking about the real possibility that he is still out there.